Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. Okay, 14th October 2022. Time right now is 4:20 in the morning, night. Okay, everyone's sleeping. I woke up and that's the story of my life, Wake up and just do work. That's what I like. Anyway, this is going to be more of a casual session, which I thought I would have. And, I was really thinking, what kind of video should I put up? See, because, normally when you think of videos, you think of a topic, you think of something relevant to speak about. But it's not just what is viral and trending, but something that, comes from the heart. So, or something that I believe in, or something that I feel, okay, would add value. However, very strangely, I think I just saw my Facebook display picture, which I've shared with you. When sitting on this plastic chair of mine, my daughter just, jumped at the back and she was hugging me and, jumping. You know how children are, how babies are. So my daughter is like now going to be, or I think she is 4 years old, not too sure. I think 4. I'm very bad with dates. I'm very bad with age. Okay, 4 years old. Okay, don't ask me when was she born. When was she born? Her date of birth is July? Bloody hell, yeah. I'm going to write it down somewhere. I know my wife's date of birth because I needed it a few days ago. I think my daughter's born in July. Not too sure. July? I think she's born in July. Anyway, I'll find out. Okay. I just hate myself sometimes. Okay. So my daughter's 4 years old. That's as far as I know because my wife keeps reminding me about it. Okay. So now I don't even know my daughter's date of birth, man. Bloody hell, yeah. Nonsense. Okay. Anyway, so my daughter is 4 years old, and they grow fast, man. It's so crazy. It's like sometimes you have this Facebook, what happened last year. They take you back memory lane, and then this video of my baby, when I was holding her for the first time. Bloody hell, I was so scared because I was never a father, became a father for the first time. I really didn't know how to feel. You see these videos of celebrity stars, and when they have the baby, they, like The Rock, they lie, without the shirt on the bed, and the baby is lying down skin to skin, and some people cry when they see the baby. And then in some cases, they even show, there's a YouTube video actually where the girl is literally naked, and the parents are there, and it's actually shown, and she delivers the baby in front of the camera naked, like the camera is there and her legs are open like this, and the baby comes out. And I don't know how they do that. Or for me, when I see that, it's like, oh, I can't bear to see it. I don't know how people are able to deliver a baby and stand and look at it. For me, I can see a horror movie. I can't see a delivery. Okay. And then you get, in the West, I think they have the father stands and the baby gets delivered in front of the father. I would faint. I would not be able to look at it. Okay. So anyway, so when the baby was delivered, I have that video of mine, very infamous. Maybe one day I'll share with you. Maybe it's uploaded, not too sure. When the nurse called me and said, your baby. I was like, huh? So fast? Like, now? So she's like, so I was not too sure. And I still remember at the hospital, like my wife had just, she was telling me that her stomach was paining, and I was like, the delivery date is due. We'll go to the hospital. She said, no, nothing will happen. I said, no, nothing doing. We're going to the hospital. I took her there. I didn't know when the baby would come out. She didn't know when the baby would come out. It's first time for her, first time for me. Went to the hospital. I told the doctor she feels that she's getting pain. Okay, you just admit her. Fine. And she changed her dress. And when she came out just to tell me, yeah, we don't know when he'll deliver. I said, okay, fine. And then as my wife turned, uh, I could see blots of blood, like liquid blood on the backside. So I was like, and then the people who are sitting there, they're like, look, look, look. So I was like, oh, did the water break? What? Because I didn't know anything. So I was like, I just told her, see, listen, I think you're bleeding at the back. She's like, oh, sheesh, I'm bleeding. She didn't even know that blood was at the back. And then she went in, and so I was waiting there, and you know, like maybe it was just bleeding or something. The next thing, like I'm seated there, and the nurse comes and says my wife's name, Nitnipa Nakoon, Nitnipa Nakoon. I was like, oh, calling my wife's name. So I started walking towards the nurse, and she was like, Nitnipa Nakoon. I said, yeah, yeah, yes, because they didn't say Loy, they said Nitnipa, my wife. And then she shows me this small little thing in a pink towel, pink because it's a girl, Nitnipa Nakoon. She actually shows me like, huh? What? I'm like, seriously, I was like, what? And she's, the nurse is also confused. I am confused. And nurse is like, Nitnipa Nakoon, like, the baby has a, like, they put that, I don't know, tag or something. So she looks at the tag again, Nitnipa Nakoon. I'm like, yeah. That's my wife. This your baby. I'm like, what? For me, like so fast? Like, I was thinking like it'll take 1 week or something. And she gives me the baby. I'm like, she shows me the baby. I didn't want to hold it. I don't even remember. Did I hold it? She shows me the baby like this. Normally people say it's the most beautiful sight, and it's like, wow. And for me, I looked at it, it was like it had big eyes, and it was like watery, and it looked like a frog. Oh, goodness. I was like, yeah, this looks like, his eyes are so big, like swollen. I was like, oh, what's this? So he's like, this is your baby girl. I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't know how to react. I really didn't know how to react. I was like, okay, yeah. Then the nurse looked at me. She was like, book room, huh? Book room. I was like, yeah, book room. And then one lady said, you have to book the room. And I like, yeah, okay, I'll book a room. And so I took a private, suite, a full suite. So then I went there. I was waiting there, and then finally they wheeled my wife in. And after some time, I think they wheeled the baby. Yeah, they wheeled them together, I think. Yeah. They wheeled them together. So then my wife, she was exhausted. She was like this, and the baby, and obviously, the baby has an umbilical cord, and my wife was exhausted, and obviously she was still bleeding. So, but I was like, I didn't know how to react. I really didn't know how to react. And for those of you who followed me on Facebook, would know that even to hold the baby, I was scared. I was like, I was not sure how to react. So my wife was like, you want to hold the baby? I was like, no, I don't want to hold the baby. I don't want to hold the baby. Like, and she was like, no, you hold the baby. I was like, no. It's a small baby. It's fragile. Like, I said, no, I'll look at the baby. You hold the baby. And the baby knew how to drink milk, and it was automatic. I guess the baby knew how to drink milk, and she was with the baby. And yes, there was a lady there to help her, whom I paid for. So she was an experience, like, I don't know what you call it, that mother taking care of, lady who takes care of newly delivered mothers or whatever. So she was guiding what to do and all that, how to place the baby and all that. And I was like, okay, this is lady's job. I don't know anything. And after some time, I told her, okay, I'll go home. I'll do my work because what will I do there, sitting there? So I've already taken care of the wife. Someone is there, and obviously, wife had the phone, and she was talking to the family members and all that. So I went home. I think I took a little rest because I was tired, and came back again in the afternoon. Again, she told me, "You want to hold the baby?" I was like, "Oh, okay, I, I'm not too sure." And obviously, she, kind of gave me the baby. My shoulders stiffened up. I was like, it's just, she's like, no, relax. Ooh, carrying the baby for the first time was something. Anyway, that was quite an experience, man. Quite an experience. Don't ask me. In my life, that was the first time. Anyway, so yeah, being a father for the first time and then bringing the baby home for the first time after 2-3 days, I think they said you can take the baby home. And he brought the baby on, wah, crying and all like, oh. And that is where, they slept in the bedroom, and I started sleeping in this thing here. I didn't want to sleep in the same room as the baby. Anyway, I couldn't sleep, and my timings were pretty weird, and it was a 24/7 job for the mother and the baby, and yeah, that was the first time, and I never changed the baby's diaper, so that's something I never want to do. I told my wife, I'm not changing the baby's diapers. It's a girl thing, I don't want to do the baby diaper thing, and I just never want to do it. It's like, oh, baby's diaper thing, And even if it was a boy, I wouldn't want to do the baby diaper thing. And I don't know how my wife did it. She was a natural at it. So I just never did that. Giving milk also, she gave milk and diaper and all that. Any shopping, anything that I would do. So diaper, no, sorry, no. Yeah, and then obviously the baby, started growing a little bit, and initially the baby used to just lie down, just lie down, and head was always one side like this, and I was like, don't you move your head, like, but obviously I used to try to move the head, but I was very afraid. So it was always one side, and then and it would always cry. So sometimes I'd hold the baby here and there. I kind of got used to it, but still I was very afraid. And then I think the baby grew a little bit bigger, and yeah, and it would move, And then I think the baby started, my wifey started putting the baby on its stomach so that it would lift its head, and then we made a separate area for the baby. I sold off my gym equipment. Anyway, I was not using it. So there the baby used to, be inside and still crying. And then I remember the day when the baby was on all fours, on the knee and hands. Yeah, that was interesting. You could just see a little movement. Yeah. Then slowly the baby learned how to stand, get up and sit down and get up and sit down. So that was also nice. And then, the baby used to make those funny sounds, and something the baby used to talk and all that. So that was also nice. Yeah. And then obviously, then the baby started walking. You'd make the baby move a little bit, like get up and walk a little, So that was also nice. And then obviously the baby was closer to the mother and all that, and built the fence. And the baby used to always have this habit of coming up and jumping the other side. And yeah, once she fell down, because she always had this habit of jumping, and she fell down and got a little hurt. So I felt a little bad about that. But then obviously we put beddings to make sure whenever she would jump. Soon she started climbing so many things and pulling my books. That was something I was really worried about. So because she couldn't walk, we gave her like the trolley kind of thing, And whenever she would pull the book, I would be like, hey, and she would get a little afraid and cry. Yeah, I have to be a little strict. So yeah, and after that the baby learned to start walking, and now the baby doesn't bloody sit down. Yeah, now she can walk pretty easy. Yeah, she's 4 years old. Yeah, she walks, she runs, she's normal. There was a one part where the baby going to school, that was a very critical part, baby going to school. I actually didn't want her to go to school because I was very afraid of, I didn't know what kind of teachers would be there. And given the fact that I experienced, I've told you before, like being sexually molested and taken advantage of, I was very afraid, giving a stranger my baby. So even though I think we could have started at around 2.5 or 3 years, even 3 years, I still waited. I told my wife, until the baby can talk, I don't want the baby to go to school. And even, there were nurseries where children would mix together, play together. I was not very comfortable. In fact, one of the things I was to really worry about was when my baby was with other babies, because we would give the baby toys and all that. But when she would mix with other babies, the other babies would grab the toy, and my baby didn't know what to do. Like, they would grab a toy and then she would go to another toy, and another baby would grab another toy, and then she would see, oh, there's no toy, and then she would take something else, and another baby would grab the toy. So as to really feel sad, I was like, oh, my baby doesn't know how to, like, not grab a toy, but how to keep a toy. And then one day there was this cleaner lady who used to come here. She bought her son. He's also, I think, 3 or 4 years, same as my daughter. And they were playing. And I went for my run. When I came back, I saw my baby sobbing, and I was like, what happened? And I found out this boy, like, she was friendly with him first. They were hugging and all that. She was hugging him. He apparently started pulling her hair and hitting her and all that, and she was sobbing like crazy. And he didn't stop. As a father, I was like, you know, lucky it didn't happen in front of me. I don't know what I would have done. I would have slapped. Yeah, protecting my baby. So, and my baby didn't know how to protect herself. My baby didn't know that, someone is pulling her hair, like, to stop. And she was just saying, sorry, sorry, in Thai, kotot, kotot naga. So my wife stopped that boy from doing it, and still he didn't stop, because I think he was born and raised in a violent house. So that made me very upset, and I made sure that no other children came and played with my baby. I was really worried, like, what if someone beats my baby? What if someone bullies her? So that's why I didn't send her to school for quite some time. But finally, my wife said, no, we have to send her. We have to send her. So very reluctantly, I said, okay, but I was very afraid. The first day at school, I was like, ooh, first day of school, I was so worried, man. And I'm sure if you see my Facebook or Instagram videos, when she went, I was more worried than anything else. And my wife was looking, at the fence. Once they are sent to, they wear a uniform. She didn't have the uniform first. So they're all made to stand in line, and the teachers play, and it's like a nursery. And I was like standing and looking. I was like, oh, leaving the baby alone. I was very scared. Yeah. I was very scared. And, I kept looking, is the baby okay? And the baby, we didn't want to show that we are there. Others, the baby will cry and ask to come. So the baby did look around, and, the teachers were doing a good job making the babies mix and all that. Thankfully, our baby did not cry, She didn't cry first day of school. But obviously, when it came to pick her up, then she burst out in tears when she saw, because she felt abandoned, she thought we left her. So first time she cried. Second time she went to school, but this time the memory was there. Third time, fourth time. But then finally she got used to school, And I also remember, being a first time parent, when she got sick and she had nose block, and my wife said, the syringe with water, put with the water on this side of the nose, and all the mucus will come out. And as I was supposed to hold her like tight, where she would do that. And my wife would do that, and baby that one was too small. She would struggle, and she was crying because, it's not comfortable. And then later on, when I not Google search, I actually spoke to a doctor. Doctor said, if the baby is not comfortable, don't do that. Putting the water up the nose and taking it out. And even cutting hair, I used to always keep the baby's hair really small. So the baby didn't like that. So, there's so many things where you learn the first time and become a better father. Today, well, my baby goes to school and she's pretty okay with that. Um, um, she communicates, yeah, but in Thai, I don't know much of Thai, so every time I have to ask my wife what she's saying, like, and then obviously wife translates, so I memorize that word, so I know what she's saying. She learns faster than I can ever learn, so that's another problem. So yeah, it's quite an experience being a father. In fact, I have um, maybe next video I'll share with you a couple of things, couple of lessons I've learned from my daughter. But I'll tell you, being a father is quite an experience. Um, I don't know if I would feel the same if I had a boy, but having a girl is. Sure, I got what you meant. I hate that assistive voice. Shut up. Okay. So, like Siri, there is something for Android. I don't know what is that. Anyway, assisted voice. So, about my, having a son, I think would be a different feeling. Having a daughter is a different feeling. And given the fact that she's a girl, I guess maybe for fathers we are a little soft. I'm generally very worried about her because, yeah, not because, maybe because she's a girl. I don't know. I'm not very experienced being a girl, obviously. So I always have to ask my wife. I tell her, see, listen, tell her, be strict, and I don't want to be strict with her, but then sometimes she drives me so crazy. I have to take a stick or something. And was I strict with her? Yes. Have I beaten in this spank? Yes. I'm not very proud about it. I did lose my cool when I did spank her on the bum. You don't feel good about it, I don't want to be that kind of father. And now, whenever I have to be strict, I go take there's a big cane, although I've not used it. Like, and when she sees, she starts to cry. That's a weapon, When I show the stick, show my angry face. And I think girls cry very easy. Yeah. And sometimes if she's in my room, I just go. I say, okay, come. I go out of my room because she'll come and sit on my chair and touch my things and all that. So I go and put off the light, and if I put off the light and close the door, then she starts to cry because she's afraid of the dark. Not a good thing, but obviously you need something for her to be afraid of. So she thought I locked her. So then she would cry. My wife would ask, "What did you do?" I said, "No, I didn't do anything. She's just crying, So yeah, being strict is one thing. Guiding her is another. Telling her, don't do this, don't do that. Sometimes I'm on the treadmill and she comes on the treadmill and it's disturbing, Sometimes when I'm doing my work, she wants to type. She doesn't have any sense of time, or she doesn't have any sense of, like, I'm the head of the family, or, you should listen to what I'm saying. For her, what? Try drawing the lines of, don't do this, doesn't work. So yeah, you learn a lot of things. You learn patience. You learn, one of the things which I do want to tell you is, you tend to, as a father, you tend to think more about the daughter than about yourself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that I'm a saint, but like, for example, if I want to eat something outside, if I want to go out and eat something that I like, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what would my daughter enjoy more? So it's not that I've left my wife. I definitely want my wife to enjoy also, and my wife obviously wants me to enjoy. But I think, okay, I have all the money, I can spend whatever, like, what do they like? What does the wife like? So whatever she likes, I kind of try to balance it out. Okay, I'll buy this, she'll buy this. But then the baby obviously can't say what she likes. The baby likes, she'll memorize it. She'll say French fry, burger. She'll just repeat like a parrot. French fry, burger, and then she says jumping. There was a jumping castle. Now it's not there. Bouncy castle. So jumping, she says French fry, burger, jumping. And now she knows shopping. So French fry, burger, jumping, shopping. Okay, she'll repeat that like a parrot. So I know it's not good for health, but once a while, baby eats a French fry and a burger. So she goes to Burger King. She likes to go there. In her entire family, I think my baby is the only one who can have Burger King because it's kind of expensive. It's only the whites, the foreigners go there. If my wife was alone, she would never be able to afford it. But yeah, I can take her. It's not a big deal. So I take her to Burger King, but then we want her to enjoy good food also, not just French fry and burger. So once a while, I take them to a Japanese restaurant, or I take them to slightly premium. It's not that we don't go to simple restaurants, but want her to eat rice and egg or fish or meat or whatever. But yes, my baby has a list of favorite items like ice cream, and they're kids, so let them eat ice cream. And another habit which she has is after ice cream, there is a shopping bit which she loves to buy her toys. Even if the same bloody toy she has, she'll buy the same thing. So I keep a limit, like not every time. Sometimes I also tell her no. But then if it's hardly like few dollars, what the hell. And then when I go shopping to buy my, tea, coffee, whatever, household groceries, my baby likes to push a trolley and not trolley. She likes to take that small, small, what do you call that? Yeah. A steel, metal, whatever, bag, not bag, whatever. You get the idea. Okay. That mini trolley without wheels. So she takes that and she will go to the chocolate aisle and she'll just pull her chocolates out. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever makes you happy. She'll go take her chips and crisps, you call it. Even though there's so much bloody in the house, yeah, she'll still buy it. That's okay. She feels happy. Whenever we go out shopping, she also has to do her shopping. So she feels happy. Yeah. So yeah, being a father involves all this. And you think about how to keep the kid happy, how to keep the wife happy. So it's quite a transformational journey. You learn so many things about life when you do all these things. But yes, I do worry about my kid. Whenever we go out, she'll sit with me on the scooter. And when she's with me on the scooter, this thing is, I have to protect her, look back, look front, driving. Even when she's down, when you're going anywhere, I have that strap which she puts, and then there's a big kind of like a leash kind of thing. So I hold on to that because, kids, they'll just run around wherever they want. So overall, it's quite an experience being a father of a little girl. My only regret is, you see all these children where the parents train their children for Olympics or dedicate their entire lives to making them world champions in chess or boxing or running. My regret is I'm not able to be that kind of a father, that kind of parent where you can put your kid to be the best in the world, like tennis. Or I used to always think maybe I could do that. But then what I've realized is if I move in that direction, obviously I'll have to sacrifice my time, my effort, my brand. So it's a very selfish decision from my side to focus only on what I want. Sometimes I kind of feel bad that I'm selfish that way, that I'm not looking into her future and securing her to be the best in the world. Even though so many people, when they look at me, oh, the number one coach, he can, mentor and guide her. It doesn't work that way. Um, this might surprise you, but, the people who know me or the people who are my family members, they don't look at me as a coach and all that. They look at me as a normal person. Yeah, my wife does know I'm a little smart. Uh, and she wants my baby to be like me. But I told her, let the baby be the baby, is a baby smart? Oh, bloody hell, she is smart. She is like, imagine she is born and she's interacting with me. So obviously she knows how to handle her father. And I do want her to read books. I do want her to develop the habit of critical thinking and all that, learn exercise. And do I want her to be the world's best? I would just want her to be happy. This world's best is my thing. I need to figure out what she wants, so let her figure out what she wants. I'm not going to put any, you have to do this, you have to do that. And even school, this is not me being a cool father, but I'm never going to put the pressure, get the first rank. I want you to be a rank holder. I want number one. No, I'll not put that. Obviously, I'm not going to tell her that don't study. I would tell her that, no, this is your job. You have to do your job well. But I'm not going to put the pressure that, oh, you have to get first. Now, what is this? If she gets whatever marks, okay, got the marks. Right now in our class, apparently, she is the smartest. I don't know. I guess every teacher tells a parent your kid is smartest. But it seems my kiddo knows English more than the other kids. So she ends up teaching the other kids English, and sometimes she finishes the homework oh, they're given assignments, and then she'll help others to do their assignments. So I see leadership skills there, which is good. She plays more with the boys here, less with the girls. I'm like, okay, whatever. All right. And she's very much like a boy. She's not like a typical girl. So I find that like, okay. And she is constantly on her iPad. But thankfully, educational stuff. So once in a while, she takes up some gaming thing because wife is cooking and cleaning and I'm doing my work here. And so she's alone most of the time. So ABCD and some games, interactive cognitive games, puzzles and all that, but not 24/7 on iPad. And sometimes my wife tells her, no, you have to play with physical toys or you have to do some writing and all that, where she spends some time. So being a housewife, she is with the baby 24/7. So yeah, overall, that's what my life is being a father. I'm not a stellar father, just a normal father. My wife makes sure that she prays. Yeah. Whenever she prays, the baby's with her. I don't interfere in that. Obviously, I know some of you say, oh, Loy, you're an atheist. Are you going to tell the baby? Just let her do what the mother does, So that's it. So if one day she comes and asks me about God and all that, yeah, that'll be a tough conversation. That'll be a tough conversation to have. Like, should I tell my kid that, critical thinking, logical, there's no God? Yeah, that'll be tough. Because then if I tell her, no, there's no God, and then she'll not listen to the mother and pray. And so I might just play along. I might just tell her, listen to your mother, pray, So, but one thing is, the reason for this, I want her to learn respect. I want her to learn obedience. I want her to learn that there are hierarchical levels of respect. She has to respect the teachers, the priests, the elders. So I don't want her to suddenly think I'm smarter than everyone else. Oh, logical thinking, that kind of thing. You have a lot to learn. You have to be humble. You have to stay in your place. So that's where I want her to be humble, bow before her elders, before the priests, the monks, whatever, and go to the temple, pray, those kind of things. Yeah. Anyway, rambled on for pretty long, and just thought I'd share with you the thoughts and feelings of being a father. Quite an experience, man. It's like it's not something that you plan; it just happens. Never thought I would be a father. Never wanted to have a kid, and now that I'm a father, I'm like, ooh, quite something. There are many people who are single bachelors, or they say, doesn't your daughter find your face scary? Like, aren't they scared? Like, doesn't your daughter find you ugly? She's born looking at this face, so why would she be afraid? And it's not that I'm going "Ugh," like this, my daughter, she sees a father. She, like, some of you don't even see the tattoos. My daughter doesn't even notice this. Only people who see me first time, oh, tattoos. Otherwise, they're just normal. I know people who see me like, oh, tattooed guy. Oh. But then people who see me almost every day, for them, it's normal. It's like those who see my channel every time, they're like, but those who come to my channel for the first time, they're like, what the hell is this? Like, what did he do to his face? So for my daughter, she sees my face every day. So she's just used to it. It's just like you see your relatives. You don't notice anything, it's just normal. So yeah, that's it. That's me and my thoughts. Spoke for 36 minutes. All right. Anyway, just thought I'd share my thoughts with you. Not sure if you guys want to comment, but if you do, feel free. Good, bad, ugly. Go ahead. Make my day. All right, you guys take care. This is me signing off. Ciao.